Shalom, shalom, and welcome. This is man's final steps. Yes, man's final steps. A continuing series to those who would be of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelations chapter 7 and 14. Today is December 16, 2013. My name is Symmanayah, and these are the words I am compelled to present. In this segment of man's final step, it is entitled, Breathe Again. Breathe Again. Let me begin with Genesis 2nd chapter verse 7. And it reads as follows. And Yahuwah Elohim formed man out of the dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils breath of life, and the man became a living being. Genesis 25:8 reads, And Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, aged and satisfied, and was gathered to his people. Genesis 35:29, And Yitzhak, known by many as Isaac, breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people in age and satisfied of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Genesis 49:33, And when Jacob ended commanding his son, he drew his feet up into his bed and breathed his last and was gathered to his people. These three are commonly known as the patriarchs of Yasharal: Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Yasharal. Deuteronomy 8:3 reads, And he humbled you, and let you suffer hunger, and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, to make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuwah. Luke 4:4 reads, But Yahushua answered him, saying, It has been written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but every word. It is the words by the Almighty, my brothers and sisters, that we live. It is by his words that we receive breath and a heartbeat. 1 Kings 17 reads as follows, And he stretched himself out on the child 3 times and cried out to Yahuwah and said, O Yahuwah my Elohim, I pray, let the life of this child come back to him. And we see in the 22nd verse, this is 1 Kings 17th chapter, Yahuwah heard the voice of Eliyahu, or Elijah to some, and the life of the child came back to him, and he lived. I invite you, my brothers and sisters, to also visit the 11th chapter of John. It is a message where we know or have heard about all too commonly regarding Lazarus. We see a demonstration of sleep defined, death defined, resurrection to life at the words of our Master Mashiach and Messiah Yahushua in the 11th chapter of John. For the sake of time, I will just ask that you read that and visit it. My brothers and sisters, we have witnessed how doctors and science define our breaths by how many times our heart beats per minute. Men, women, and children experience heart rates ranging from as low as 40 to as high as 160 beats per minute, depending on the age and lifestyle, and of course, whether you are athletic or not. For a baby, the heartbeats per minute are on the high side. For an adult, on the lower side. My brothers and sisters, while we rarely think about the process in which we live and function at the words of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, let us consider a 24-hour cycle. When we look at 40 beats per minute or 160 beats per minute, a 24-hour cycle from the lowest to the highest will give us 57,600 beats per 24-hour cycle or per day. On the high side, 230,400 beats per 24-hour period on the high side. That's how many beats in a day we could experience, between 57,000 and a little over 230,000 beats per minute Well, in this case, this will be beats per 24 hour. I'm sorry. Beats per 24 hour. The per minute would have been the 40 and the 160. With each heartbeat, we breathe again. Breathe again and breathe some more. It is by the word of the Almighty Father Yahuwah in which we receive breath in a heartbeat. Our brains cannot function without oxygen, and this occurs as our heart beats and blood become oxygenated by the workings of our lungs. Again, consider between 57,000 and a little over 230,000 times per 24-hour periods we are able to breathe again and again. While we have become so entangled with the workings of this world, we have taken for granted the words of the Almighty Father Yahuwah in providing us with continued life in every heartbeat, in every breath. My brothers and sisters, the time has come when we must begin to awake from the slumber. It is time for us to come away and rise above the distractions and come to grips with maybe, just maybe, we are allowed to breathe again for a purpose. Scriptures mention of the 144,000 consisting of 12,000 from each of the tribes of Yasharal, as well as a great multitude. Yes, we read that they will come out of the great tribulation with white robes washed in the blood of the Lamb. These words, working words, are true, and scriptures will be fulfilled. Not might, but will. We have entered into the last days. Yes, end times are here. A refining process has begun. Keep in mind Revelation 14th chapter verses 1 through 5. It describes the 144,000. I am well aware that there are many who believe the 144,000 instantly or instantaneously will appear at a specific time and day, and that they will be perfect. There are many who will argue and debate or state that the letter which writes of them being virgins or maidens, there are many who will debate the letter with fierce convictions regarding the perfection of the 144,000. But remember scriptures, my brothers and sisters. Remember scriptures inform us the letter kills and the spirit makes alive. Let us not get entangled with arguing over the description or where or who these individuals will be. In time, convictions and proof will come. My brothers and sisters, yes, let us remember we began as an agricultural people. Examples throughout scripture has proven there are processes which occur in our worship, in our obedience to the Almighty One, as well as our fellowship with one another. I am compelled that the Spirit of Yahushua does not want us to be absent of understanding the life in Scriptures. Furthermore, I therefore have no doubt we are in a refining process to bring us to the perfection that is described in Revelation's 14th chapter. Regarding those whose robes are washed white in the blood of the Lamb. Yes, my brothers, and consider the following excerpts from Matthew. Matthew 13:24 reads, in another parable he put before them, saying, the rain of the heavens has become like a man who sowed good seed in his field. He didn't talk about instantaneous mature crops with fruit. It began as a seed. 13:31, Matthew 13:31 says, another parable he put before, saying, the rain of the heavens is like a mustard seed, which man took and sowed in the field. If we understand the anatomy of a seed, we come to know that there is a process. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the time is at hand for us to become more familiar with what is expected of us. Do not fall for the sperm to the adult, as speaking of a seed to maturity. Breathe again, breathe again. In the midst of all end times, we will breathe again, my brothers and sisters. Let us stop taking for granted the breath that we have received. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, be mindful. Let us not take for granted the details in which we are receiving the mercies and the favor from the Almighty Father. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, pray, watch, establish a ready mind and body to be responsive to the guiding power of the Spirit of Yahushua, our Mashiach. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.